Okay guys, hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm just making sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to check the sound in just a second. And I'll just spectacular. Let's check the sound. Let's make sure that I can hear you guys, or I can hear myself. Is really what I'm working on right now. Perfect. Heard some sound from that. Okay, so I need to get my shoes on and all the other kind of stuff, and we should be good to go. I'll set you guys right here for just 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I'm missing quite a few light bulbs over there. So I don't currently have light bulbs in everything that we could possibly put light bulbs in, because one of the cost savings that I do that a lot of people maybe don't think about is as long as if you don't keep light bulbs in all of your different things, then it doesn't burn those light bulbs. It doesn't use the power or the energy. And so you can actually do some pretty decent cost savings by keeping your light fixtures that got multiple light bulbs in them, reducing the number of bulbs that's in there by a small amount. So I've done an energy audit in my house before, and we went through all the places that I can plug in a light bulb. And now this was a couple years ago, so we probably might have a few new lamps or might have replaced a couple lamps, but in general, my house, which is just under 4,000 square feet, my house had the ability of putting in 96 light bulbs throughout the course of my house. So, and even if you think about just small wattage usage of light bulbs, that can still be a lot of wattage usage. So, and if you forget to leave lights on or things of that sort, or you need to leave lights on, reducing the amount of bulbs that you have will always help save you a little bit of money. And it's a good way to be to conserve some energy and such. So that's one of the reasons that you'll see that. And I have two types of light bulbs in my house. I do Edison bulbs, the old-fashioned bulbs. Incandescent is what some people know them as, and LEDs. So I do not do any compact fluorescence or anything like that. So in incandescents, Edison bulbs, and LEDs have their own unique pros and cons to them. And so it's best to figure out the best way, where to put them, what you're going to use them for, and such like that, so that you can do some cost savings, some energy savings, and some such like that. So the one thing I do like about incandescent is incandescent bulbs do produce amount of heat, so they actually produce a micro amount of heat. So there's times that those bulbs are actually more beneficial, or if they're just going to be on off real quickly, so like your closet or such like that you don't use very often, those bulbs are ideal for that, because those bulbs were meant to be turned off and on very quickly. So just cool things to think about on this lovely day. As you guys can see, still some snow on the ground. I haven't measured it, but I think we're at about 8 inches right now. So in the last 2 days, we've got about 8 inches of snow. So, and then outside right now, it's probably about -2°C, or I think it's about 28. That sounds about right. 28 sounds about right. So we're gonna go down here and we're gonna see. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we're gonna go see if the cistern's working. So I've got my bottle to get some water. So going a little late today. Me and Lisa were working on some other projects and some such like that, so it pushed us back our feeding about an hour. So that's why we're not coming out here and feeding till 4:30 instead of 3:30. But that happens. Survey says water is frozen, so that means we're gonna have to head onto the back porch with some bottles and get that accomplished that way. So it happens I should have been more diligent the last sunny day to make sure that that little bit of the water was out of the pipe, because what happens, guys, is so inside the cistern we've got a pipe and a pump, and the pipe is mostly a hose, and if I don't let that completely lose all the water, if it doesn't completely empty out all the water, then what happens is just a little bit of that water stays in there and then freezes an ice plug, and then it makes it so that the pump then can't push the water past that ice plug. So alas, that turns into a problem. So the snowplow's out plowing the roads. I don't know if you guys can hear that. And they must be expecting a lot more snow, which I think we are actually supposed to be getting more snow. So I don't know if you guys watched me and Mock did a stream last night. If you guys didn't get a chance to catch that, we did about a 2-hour stream talking a little bit about prepping and such that we suggest you guys having to do some prepping. Prepping for lots of stuff. They can be prepping for whatever silliness is about to occur, or just basic prepping because the weather might turn crazy for some of you, or you might just live in an area where it's just a good idea to have some extra stuff. So you just don't know. Okay. Get this running. Let me get the other one in here. So while we're waiting, if you guys want to see, right now we're just filling up the water bucket with the sink. It's just the easiest way right now. Usually that cistern outside, it's got a nice big jet pump in there, usually fills it up really quickly. This is a rather slow, tedious process. I'll have to keep this in mind so that tomorrow I can just keep these ready in here, maybe even fill them up so they're ready to go. You don't have to worry so much about this. But again, you know, you're always good. I always suggest everyone have a backup plan. So whatever you think, like, you know, having a cistern outside, having the backup plan of an easy place to fill up your water in here, because you just never know when something crazy is going to happen. And when your normal way of doing things gets changed a little bit. So, you know, I do have like a couple years ago we actually ran power all the way to our building. About a year and a half ago we had a really bad storm, and it knocked down the power lines that we had running there. So I've had to since run everything with extension cords now out that way. But I had backup high quality extension cords for that purpose. So I have that in place. We have emergency blankets and such set up there, so if the power goes out and we're going to have power out for a long period of time, we've got the blankets in there. And the reason we just cover the blankets is just keeps the wind from moving around a lot in there, and it keeps them a little bit more a buffer with some blankets and such. But the other thing it does is it makes it stay more like night. And so they don't move around as much. They kind of think it's been a really dark day, and so they just kind of stay sleepy. And so when they stay sleepy, just like with us, they don't have as much energy, and they don't use as much, they don't require the same amount of resources and such. So, again, that's not a long-term solution. It wouldn't be something I'd want to do all winter long, but for a few days and such, having the blankets, and then if that would happen, just knowing how to open the door and close the door a slightly different way. Those are good reasons for that. It's so boring. This is probably my least favorite part. Jobs for 9? Welcome. Probably my least favorite part is waiting for the water, getting the water ready. Because usually when I'm doing it outside, I can carry a bucket, I can carry one to the building, and then I can come back and I can get this next one and all that kind of stuff ready to go. So right now, this trying to get filled up is just a tedious. We're taking Luna outside.
We're going for a walk on the mountain. Would you like to come with us for a quick one?
No, I have to give this water to Lisa.
We can give it to her. We're only going to the corn for him.
So, okay. So we got one water filled up, good to go. I'm gonna get the lid for it, which is right here, and then we'll switch up. And then we'll grab another one. So these are about 5 gallons for those that might be wondering the different water containers that we have. So we figured out 5 gallons is a pretty easy. Most people have no problem lifting the 5 gallon ones. Which I think comes to like close to 40. I don't know how many pounds that was. I don't remember. We'd figured it out before. So I'm not gonna guess. I don't remember how many pounds it is. So I'm scared Amatiel, and she jumped off there. Hope everyone is doing well on this Saturday. Nothing too exciting for me this Saturday. It's been actually a pretty quiet Saturday. So I'll be redoing my Minecraft server, because I guess there's some big, Mark Boggs told me there's some big update that needs to happen, so I'll be working on that. And just nice quiet Saturday, pretty nice quiet. Probably the most exciting news I got is the absinthe that I ordered. So I've been looking for absinthe for quite a while. Living here in Appalachia, absinthe can be very hard to find, and it's one of my favorite. What I like about absinthe is it's more in the medicine category if used properly than in alcohol. I mean, you can't get drunk off of it, but because of the way it's infused with the different types of herbs and such like that, it's definitely more in the health food category used properly than alcohol. But I got some absinthe because that's what I'm going to be making here on the farm, and I wanted to have some to draw from to try to copy some of the recipes to try to make it taste similar, so that I can kind of make my own absinthe medicine. Because there is a lot of there's a lot of folklore behind it. There's a lot of lore behind it, but being able to get those infused, all those herbs and such like that infused, and just being able to have just a little small amount as a good way to consume them. So that was pretty excited. I'm ordering them from Germany, as crazy as it is. It's easier for me here in southern West Virginia to get alcohol from the UK, from way on the other side of the world. From like, I think these ones, I think I'm getting a bottle from Germany, France, the UK, and maybe someplace else, I don't know. But it's easier to get it from the other side of the world, transfer it here, and get it delivered to my house than it is for me to go to a local liquor store where they never have it. So just kind of crazy. But it's also really cool how the world works today. So, oh, very cool. I don't know how to say that, but it looks like a cool word. So, let me see how fast this one is. Almost done. So while this one's almost done, I'm going to take this bottle. I'm going to take this bottle of water that we have here, and we're going to take it outside, so that by the time I come back in, that next one should be ready to go. So, Gree. Okay. me shut this door. Don't want to let the heat out or let the cold in. Perfect. You guys want to see the clouds? So I'll show you guys if you want to. There's a pretty good amount of snow. So there's my hand. There's the amount of snow that we've got in the last 2 days. You guys can see all of the snow that's on the ground. We're supposed to get quite a bit more. I do need to clean off my snow bucket. You guys can see the snow. Look at that nice blue sky dot right there. Beautiful guy. Ooh, there's another cool blue sky dot. I'm a big fan of holes in the clouds. I call them blue sky dots. So, oh, let me show you this, guys. This is another good. I can actually telescope this one so you guys can see it a little bit better. But if you guys look here, that's one of the. If you guys have ever heard of some of the barriers, the problems with how you can have roofs collapse. Now, this one we don't have too much problems with, but how you can have problems with ice dams. There's a really good example of an ice dam right there. So it means that everything on the roof isn't functioning the way it's supposed to. So let me get these both down here off the steps. And as soon as we get this water, we'll go check out the baby bunnies. We'll go check out the young chickens and anything else, and maybe say hi to Sylvia. And as you guys can tell, don't have the gimbal again today, so it's a little shaky. Sorry. So yeah, I said I think about 8 inches of snow in the last 2 days is what we've got. So I think what's crazy is we're only a few, I think maybe 10 or so inches away from beating the snow totals of all of last year. Last year was absolutely the mildest year that we've had.
You know what?
What?
He should have been Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. He's Michael Jr. Michael Jackson Jr.
So
In your eye.
some people wanted to see the bunnies, so let me just peek in here and say hi to them. I just brought the water over.
Hey. That's a pretty gray too. It's very muted with some blonde. Hey, little babies.
Right there.
What?
He's hiding right back there with my favorite one.
Your fluff.
Yep.
We got a little cage, and just you can.
He's not ready yet. He's still hanging out with his friends. We want him to be able to be super socialized. But we also want him to be able to like people, so
I know you're gonna have to handle them a lot.
you guys can see lots of the crazy bunnies.
This one. Ooh, you got a cut on your ear. that little fluff head is cute with the. Let's see.
There he is, right there. See, that's the one. That's my favorite, right there.
Straight
Yep.
back.
Yep.
Yep.
We've not had anyone that was kind of that khaki color and with like a brown underlay. It's kind of an interesting combination.
This one's personable. It's always up front. Beep. I don't even know how many are back there. So I see a couple more fluff balls. Starting to snow again.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the other water. So those are all the accidental babies. And again, I think I've pointed this out to a lot of you guys out there in the internet land. If you guys are ever passing through down here in southern West Virginia, or passing through in the near future, and you're interested in rabbits, or want to learn stuff, or you want to get one for yourself, let me know. And I probably have a rabbit for you just waiting. As long as you're giving it a good home, you should be good to go. Or in the future, when you start homesteading and such like that, I'm putting together homesteading kits for folks as well. So So chickens and rabbits and ducks and such that I think will be good for folks that are just starting out. So the one wonderful great thing about rabbits is even if you're doing urban or suburban homesteading, rabbits are usually allowed in most cases. No one usually has too much of an issue with you having some rabbits. So they're a good beginner animal. Also, good beginner animal if you have kids and you want to get your kids used to raising animals. Rabbits, with a very few exceptions, rabbits are pretty good as a first pet. So, and unlike like hamsters and other things that you can't handle as much, once you get used to handling a rabbit, they're great, friendly. And as Sunflower points out, absolutely, their poop is spectacular for fertilizer. Even if you're only growing plants inside your house, the simple fact is you can put a couple poop balls inside your plants, and they're kind of like slow release fertilizer. And plants love them. Now you can't put too many, so don't sprinkle a whole big pile on your plant or anything, unless the plant needs a lot of that. But just a couple small little poop balls and good to go. So awesome little guys who do a lot of hard work for you and really earn their keep. So one of the things when you pick barnyard animals, sorry guys, I'm just picking up some hay. When you pick your animals for a homestead, having animals that earn their keep is definitely nice. Now, of course, it is nice to have horses, and if you ride your horse or you work your horse, then they earn their keep that way. But if you're just using horses just for show purposes and such, they're not quite earning their keep as well as some other stuff. So, the cool thing about rabbits is, we have 2 indoor rabbits that live in the house that we switch up, and they run around at different times. And the one is very, very well potty trained, and we use the litter box, that kind of good stuff. You said you needed a little bit of this, Lisa?
For some for the bottom cage and then a little bit for the inside.
Take what you...
Yeah. Hold on. Just where you set it on top of that.
Okay. You think that you need this whole thing, or do you want me...
I don't.
I'll leave the whole thing.
Just leave it operating.
Okay, we're gonna go get some more for the other guys. But yeah, one of our rabbits.
Sylvia might want one.
Okay, one of our rabbits is completely potty trained, always using the litter box. Very, very rarely do we have any problems. The other one, it's mildly potty trained. Occasionally, it'll pee on the floor in spots, but in general, raising rabbits and keeping rabbits inside as pets. So, no, you are absolutely right, Roaring. If you regularly brush your Angora rabbit, we used to have an Angora. If you regularly brush, which you should if you have an Angora, you'd be surprised. You almost in a short period of time, you almost get like a whole nother bunny out of just brushing the rabbit. And also, if you stimulate the hot and cold, so you maybe let the rabbit play outside on cold days, so that it stimulates the instincts to grow more fur in the winter months or stuff like that. You can get even more fur off of it, and just regular brushing and such like that. You can have a lot of cool stuff. The only downfall to Angoras is they can get dreads like me, and if you don't maintain the dreads properly, then they can get caught up in the dreads and they can get gross and dirty and such like that. But yeah, Angora rabbits are really cool for their wool that they produce. Surprisingly, if you brush just regular rabbits, you get quite a bit of fur. It's really, really small, and it's better for felting, but it's actually really interesting. So, another thing, guys, if you guys decide to get ducks or chickens or guineas or anything like that, as you have them and you carefully find their feathers or help them groom their feathers properly, you can take those feathers and you can put them on crafting items, or you can sell those feathers for people that are interested in crafting on Etsy and things like that. So, I fell. 1 second, guys. Okay. So we gotta get a little bit more hay now for Sylvia because we know it's gonna be some cold days coming ahead. And let's say hi to Sylvia first, and then we'll walk over and get some hay for Sylvia. Right, Miss Sylvia? There's Miss Sylvia's little house right in there. Right now she's just finishing up her afternoon snack of popcorn and things. So, yeah, roaring, if you're having problems with the stream, a lot of people have DLive. If it's streaming on DLive and it's kind of not been clear for as many people. So, and it's been having issues it's been having issues when I've been watching people over the last few days. So I'm not sure why, but so be life. Oh, for those that are wondering about all of the craziness that's going on, I also will be streaming all of my stuff on multiple places now too. So if you figure out your favorite streaming site and you just type in X Dr. Firefly, you should be able to find me. If you have a favorite streaming site and I'm not currently streaming on, let me know, because I'm trying to get on just about everything, just in case lots of silliness happens. I can stay connected with all of my friends. All of the community out there. I should be on just about everything that is social media as my name, just in case anybody's interested. If you're just gonna follow me on DLive, I'm not going anywhere. I kind of I'm not only am I lazy, I'm lazy and I'm stubborn, so I usually stick around way past things' expiration date. I mean, heck, I still have a MySpace and a Friendster page. Well, okay, I had a Friendster page last time I checked to see if Friendster was still there, which was probably over a year ago. But I mean, heck, I still have my AOL name, my AOL screen name. So that's how I don't know if I should say dedicated or lazy I am. I think lazy is probably a fairer term. So okay, let me grab this right here. About 3 good flecks of hay, and good to go. So as I don't know if you guys can see, the snow's starting to fall again, but it's slightly starting to snow again. Snow is supposed to pick up. If you guys notice, the blue sky dots are pretty much gone from behind me, so the gray clouds have moved in, and it's supposed to move in more and more. So yeah, T-Rex. It's what I'm trying to do, just to make sure that I've got everything handled. I even, out of jest, but I did it anyways, I even set myself up an OnlyFans page. So if you don't know what that is, good, you don't need to. But for those that do, you guys can chuckle inside and laugh at Doc having his own OnlyFans page. So I don't know what I'm going to post on there, probably nothing, but I have one. So, okay, so, I'll give Sylvia a fleck right now. I'll just give her 1 fleck of hay, throw it right by her door, so she can, if you guys see, I just tossed it right in front of her door. She'll probably go in a few minutes and move it around, but I think she's still eating. So I'm going to give her just a little bit more, and then the rest of this will be for those guys inside. These are my twine tree. So we take all of the cool twine and such. Hey, Sunflower. Thanks for the sub gift. So. Let's pop this here. Another one for Sylvia. You guys can see what she's doing. So what she's going to do is she's going to pick up the hay, and then she's going to move. She's going to then move it into her to her spot where she needs to do stuff. So. So she gets good mouthfuls, exactly with what she wants. And then just scoots it all into there and such like that. So I don't know how I entertain all of you guys. One day when I can figure out a safe way to put a camera in there that she doesn't decide to bite and break down, I'm going to put a camera inside Sylvia so we can watch it. So okay. Okay, I think that's good for now. I think we got that in there. And in here is the bunny cage. So we've got some bunnies up here. So got some bunnies up here. This is a lion head. And then we have a few other bunnies in here. Most of the bunnies in here are young baby bunnies, or are bunnies that are a breeding stock, or possibly are bunnies that have been injured, or bunnies that need a little extra attention. So as I told you guys, I have, me and Lisa's working on trying to make everything set up so that if you guys ever came to the farm and you wanted to learn all of our techniques, or when we get interns in the future, we're starting to document everything, what we do every day. And so if anybody ever needs any help with that kind of stuff, I'm going to start making all this available for you guys to download and help customize, so that when you guys decide to do homesteading chores, it's always a good idea to have exactly what you do written down, so that if other folks decide to come help you, or let's just say that you are gone for a bit and you need someone to take over everything you're doing, you've got it all in place. I don't think I've showed you guys this in the past, but I've told you before about how Lisa has turned our feed bags into carrying bags. So this is one of Lisa's projects that she does, is she turns our old feed bags into carrying bags, and she does a great job with them. So she has a couple on our Etsy store, but it's just even if you're not interested in that, it's just a good thing that you guys might be able to do with some of your feed bags. If you guys need the pattern on how she did that, let us know, and we'll share that pattern with you, so that you guys can also make carrying bags with your feed bags. So I'm going to carry this into the bunny barn for Lisa, or into the regular barn for Lisa. Okay. I'm getting extremely winded today. It's the cold air. Some days the cold air just hits me, and sometimes it just hits me to the point where it takes me a minute or two to catch my breath. So, you want me to put that hay into the bunnies in the bunny barn, or do you want to do that?
Huh?
Do you want me to put the hay in with the bunnies in the bunny barn, or do you want me to do that? Or do you want to do that?
It doesn't matter. I can do it. Did you give Sylvia some?
I did, yeah. I gave her 2 big ones. I don't know. I haven't checked. So. Okay, we're heading back outside. So you might be wondering, Doc, why do you have curtains like this going into? So what this is, if you see this area right here, just as you go into the barn, you'll see that there's curtains up. There's a curtain there, and there's curtains here. What that does is that makes a vestibule. And inside the vestibule, what that does is that the curtains and that kind of stuff, it slows the wind from penetrating deep into the barn. And so since we don't run heaters or anything into the barn, having that the curtain vestibule is a good way to keep a little bit of heat in. And we also, you can saw that it didn't touch the ground. We have it not touching the ground so the animals can walk under it, because a lot of them won't push through the curtains or anything. But we have, it's one of the ways that we've noticed it does a good job. So, the pond, I'll show you guys. The pond was completely frozen today. And let me show you what the ducks have done. The ducks have got down in there and they opened up their half of the pond. So the entire pond was completely frozen, and then they went in there and jumped in it, hit it with their bills, and splashed around until they were able to open up. So, I don't know if you guys can see that the snow is starting to pick up like I said it was going to. So, I need to do some snow measurements in a little bit to see how much snow we got. So I accurately keep track of all my weather. I've been doing that for the last few years. I think it's a good idea to know what your weather is like, to know what to expect, to know roughly when you think the coldest day is going to be, when the warmest day is going to be, and how to dance around that and deal with that in the best way possible. So maybe you live in a warm region and you don't need to worry about that as much. If you do, I would suggest taking rain totals, taking cloudy days versus sunny days, taking the temperatures of days, because knowing all that information really helps if you're going to do plant yields or you're going to raise animals. So then you know, like if you're in a really, really hot region, you know what days to give them ice buckets or ice bottles or things like that. So I don't know if it's me. I'm going to point something out just as we're walking here. I don't know if it's me, but right now, it's kind of feels like it's right up here, but I hear like a ringing, just a really slight ringing in the atmosphere. It's not necessarily like a tetanus ringing, but it just, there's like an aura ringing, so. Yeah, you can email me the stuff in the About section. Yeah, you can if you're talking about working on getting seeds, the seed things that I'm working on, that kind of stuff. If anybody needs any additional information, you can email me in the About section. You can visit my website, mavisinstitute.xyz. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there'll be a phone number there. You can call or send me a text, or you can just hit me up on the Discord, and we can talk about the seeds and exchanging seeds or sending you seeds, whatever you would be interested in. That's the best way to get a hold of me. So those are the best means. So. And if there's any seeds out there, anybody's super seeds that people are interested in, I'm getting ready to do a couple really big bulk orders of heirloom seeds. So when I say bulk orders, I'm going to try to order a couple pounds of seeds at a time. So if there's any seeds that people really, really want to try and really want me to mail off this year, let me know. So when I start placing those orders, I can add more of particular seeds. So most of the seeds I'm going to mail off are going to be heirloom seeds that I get locally. But I do every year also get some seeds from some trusted sources, some people I know that sell seeds and some things of that sort, just because I think it's really fun to try lots of new crazy things. So if I step outside of the woods, because right now I'm standing inside the woods, but if I step just a little bit outside the woods, I think you guys can see the snow is starting to pick up. If you look behind me, you can see how the white is, how everything is starting to fade. I'll fade a little bit to white. You can see the barn in my cars starting to fade to white as the snow starts picking up and as the wind starts blowing, and as it's just a lovely kind of I don't know if you guys can see this, it kind of has like a yellowish, the sky has like a little bit yellowish tint to it, so Yeah, Roaring, you'll have to let me know. I'm interested. And Sunflower, thank you so much for the diamond. So I'm glad that you enjoy the channel. I'm glad to have you here to ask questions and to experience this with me. It's always fun to have you guys around. So it's so much fun to have you guys around, have everybody answering questions, bouncing back and forth, us learning and doing stuff together. Since most of you can't be here on the farm with me, having you guys here. So anyway, thank you for the ice creams and the lemons. Force Nothing, thank you as well for the lemons. I am very, very appreciate of all of your donations. For those that don't know, all the donations actually go towards bettering the farm, doing things to make the farm function better. So I treat all of this as if it was a donation to the nonprofit. So you guys, everything that you guys do goes back to what you see here on the farm, and you guys are just making the animals' lives just that much better. And I appreciate every lemon, because they do add up. Lots of lemons make lots of lemonade. So we're gonna walk up past the, we're gonna walk up here into the field, just because it's kind of fun right now with the way the snow's going. So, Roaring, thank you so much for the diamond. So, we're just heading up here in the field with all these. If you guys don't know, all of these pine trees back behind me, I planted all of them quite a few years ago. So, yeah, Force Nothing, I am very much looking. I'm still enjoying winter. I still really like winter, but probably I usually get to about the middle of February before I get tired of winter. And then once middle of February hits, I just get really, really excited about focusing on planting seeds and focusing on my gardens and what cool thing I'm going to try to grow this year and how well it's going to work out. And also starting in February is when I can start teaching classes and such again. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that this year. I'm not sure I'll be able to do the outreach programs like I normally do. But even if I don't, I'll be able to just convert a lot of those classes here to streaming and all the other stuff. And so very exciting times is after February, but right now it's absolutely enjoying the snow. Otto, thank you for the follow. For some of you that might not know, if you guys want to see the farm 24/7, if you're just interested in peeking in, I do have 4 or 5 cameras set up around the property, and that is on my wife's channel, Mavis, the Mavis Farmacy. Here on DLive and on some other sites that you can check it out if you guys are interested in just seeing. The sound is just of Alan Watson music, so it's nothing too spectacular, no barn sounds or anything. I couldn't get that all to work, but if you guys are interested in checking out that, you guys can jump over there to her channel. So what I'm super excited about is right after I get the seeds, starting in February, I can get all the seeds, I can get the seeds ready into the ground, and then I can have my garden plots ready. And then right after garden season is bee season, so I can get my honeybees again, and I can start trying to capture wild bees. I can start picking up the bees that I buy from the store with the different things. I can start doing walkaway splits where I can start making more bees. And I absolutely love beekeeping. It's one of my favorite things. I've been doing it for quite a few years now. I love teaching. I've taught some classes on beekeeping, but just everything about it is super fun. So I like learning each personality of the hive and how the personalities are different, and the little tricks that each beehive, each personality has. So I was so sad this year. We did we so far all the hives that we have, we're down to 1. So colony collapse disorder hit a couple of the other ones, but we will be adding, again, we'll be adding more bees and more cool things to the mix. I'll have it up on my library channel, which is also Odyssey, and my BitChute channel really soon. If you guys want to watch some of those past videos where I got into the bees, and I showed you guys how to do stuff. Next year we're going to be hyper focusing on, once we get the packets of bees, once I get the nukes of bees, I'm going to show you guys how to do all the proper installation, the equipment that you're going to need, the equipment that I use. The reason I pretty much only wear a veil and we'll talk all about that kind of stuff in the spring. That's what I'm really excited about. We're going to do some other experiments to see if we can combat some more colony collapse disorder. We can talk about some of the different ways to treat the bees. I might get enough hives this year. Like, I'm thinking about maybe trying to get 5 or 6 hives this year and treating them all completely different with different techniques, and then one I might just do nothing with, just so we have a control hive, and then document all this kind of stuff down, document in videos, and then see what worked out the best for this particular area. And then I'm also going to do walkaway splits with all of those, because I have a sneaking suspicion bees born here on the mountain are going to actually do a lot better than bees that I brought in from someplace else. So that's something that I'm very excited about. Force nothing. The other thing that I'm going to be starting soon is I have an aeroponic system. I tried to build one last year, just a really cheap functioning aeroponic system. It didn't. I kind of slacked. I was cutting some corners on it. It didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do. So we'll be doing some more tutorials on building those yourself to show you guys how to build those and such like that. So that'll always be fun. Now, right now, bees are pretty simple. They pretty much just hang out in their hive on the side of the thing. So the one hive that we have is a walkaway split. What that means is I just created more bees to live here. So the one that's doing very well right now through the winter is the walkaway split of the queen that was born here on the property. So that's kind of that's really cool. And so I'll be excited to get those to winterize if they make it all the way through the winter. Crossing my fingers. They have everything that they need to make it through the winter. There's plenty of honey. They're actually overpacked with honey, so they should have more honey than they need. I have food on top of all of the hives just in case they happen to run out of honey, which I don't know how they would, but if they do, I've got sugar on the top. I've got them completely insulated. I've got black chloroplast. The black stuff that you make like political signs and that kind of stuff out of. I've got that all the way around it to give them a little bit warm up. And I also have 2 entrances, so I've got a top entrance and a low entrance, so they can definitely do all that kind of stuff. And so I have a little gauge in there so I can see what the temperature and such is. So all of that stuff for that particular hive. So, and again, no, I'm only talking about bees because it's going to be so many months from now before I'll actually get into the bees, and always excited about that. If anybody's interested in bees, hit me up. I'll teach you guys some classes and such like that. I do check them for varilla mites. So Last year only one hive was really burdened, and that was the hive I just kind of was letting do its own thing. All the other ones, the ones I treated, the ones that I tried some different types of techniques, they all did well. And then the one hive, I didn't really have to do anything. Their varilla mite count was always extremely low. So that was the porch bees. For those that remember the porch bees, the bees that I keep right on my porch. I will be getting porch bees again this year just to show you absolutely how safe bees are, that you can keep honeybees right by your front door, that not only can they be a great thing to have right outside your front door, just really fun to have a beehive on your porch, but they also do a great job of keeping joggers off your porch. So if you guys don't get the joke, that's fine. It's a D-Live joke. So varilla mites are the easiest way to refer it to somebody is they're kind of like ticks for bees. So they get in there and they latch onto the bee, and then they suck out the blood and the essence of the inside of the bee, and then the bee slowly dies. And then the varilla mites fall off, go into and live inside one of the cells as they incubate new baby bees, and then they latch onto a new bee, and it just becomes an endless cycle. And if you get too overwhelmed with it and you don't treat it, then your bees get really, really weak because there's just too many of them in there. So, yeah, they're just, it's one of the downfalls to beekeeping. It's a fairly new thing here in North America, but lots of people are doing some really great experiments. They're figuring out lots of natural and municipal pharmaceutical ways to deal with it. So I kind of doing next year we're going to do a mix of both. We're going to do some natural and some pharmaceutical and some control tests just to see what works best here. Because me being here on the mountain, I'm in kind of a microclimate, and so things completely do different things here. Hey, here, kitty. Yeah, look, I've had quite a bit of snow. So it was snowing just a few minutes ago, hence the reason I'm covered in snow. Here, kitty, if you stick around for a few minutes, we'll head back. We're going to go check out the baby bunnies in just a minute again, because I know some of you really like checking out the baby bunnies, so we're going to go check those guys out. Also, if the other exciting news, some of you have probably heard this before, but if all works out well, we'll be also getting a sheep this year. So that'll be the new animal that we add to the farm to learn more about how sheep function, stuff about sheep. So that's the kind of stuff. So that's something that will be very, very exciting. Me and Lisa are super excited about getting a sheep. I'm getting a sheep over a goat because I've done a little bit more research on sheep than I have goats, and sheep are a little bit more, a little easier to deal with when it keeps them fencing and such like that. So yeah, so a lamb, very, very exciting. We're also hopefully Lisa's gonna learn how to harvest some wool, and we're gonna try to spin our own wool, or we're going to use wool for things that you might not do stuff with. So yeah, I'm also a big fan, T-Rex. I'm a big fan of wearing wool. I usually pretty much always wear wool socks, and I like wool shirts and such like that. So that's part of the reason, like, hopefully it could get to the point where we could trade the wool or trade things for people that know how to spin very well. So yeah, I like goats too. Goats are really, really fun. But right now we're still, we just mastered keeping Sylvia into the fence, and I'm, saying that with the utmost respect that she can probably figure out a way out of the fence now. But I'm not quite ready to have to go through that complete circus of keeping something in the fenced-in area again. And goats are like, awesome, super crazy ninjas. They can get out of anything. So I've been talking to people about milking sheep, and yes, you can milk sheep. The problem is that their teats are just really small, and it can be a lot of work. But there is, I've been researching about people that has made some different types of automatic milkers that fit them better, and so I might actually end up trying one of those and just seeing what we could possibly make with sheep's milk. Or just to see if it's even possible, if they produce enough milk to do anything with, or if it just all needs to go to their young. So that's something that will be kind of interested and kind of exciting to see what happens with that. So crossing our fingers, it's something interesting. We'll give it a shot. You guys will learn along with me if you can actually milk sheep or not. So, I mean, I just was told the other day you can milk pigs, which sounds really weird to me, and I don't know how you would do it, but supposedly you can. I'm not gonna ever try that, so don't any of you guys think that that's ever a possibility. You would have to really have a very well-trained pig to be able to do that, and yeah, that's not happening anytime soon here. But something I did read the other day. So okay, so let's head on over. You guys can see the sky is turning gray again, so that means we're probably gonna get another good batch of snow coming in. It usually comes in waves here, so the snow comes in, it'll come through waves, and then it'll actually disappear, and then it'll come in waves again. So whew. I sat there too long. My bad knee wanted to not get back up. So, oh, look at this, guys. Let's spin around. Look at the sky right there. I've got to spin without me. So, look at that sky. That is just, man, that blue, that kind of blue is just absolutely spectacular. No, I don't have alpacas or llamas. The deer in this area carry a neurological virus that they currently can't treat effectively with alpacas and llamas, and all of the folks that I know that's raised alpacas and llamas in the area, have had nothing but chasing that virus and having to give their animal regular injections. And I'm just not quite ready for that. I'm not quite ready to do that kind of work or anything yet. So, man, that's really close to one of my favorite colors in the world. So, such a nice color sky right there. Yeah, the alpacas and such. So we were going to get some alpacas early on, and one of our friends had some and was raising them for a while. And our farm vet was telling us about the problem with alpacas is they get this virus, and then if you don't regularly treat it and you don't do certain things, then over time it paralyzes them, and they get to the point where they just can't walk or do anything anymore, until the point where they're just standing still, and then they ultimately can't even move their neck and such. And it just sounds horrifying. And even if you treat them on a regular basis, the problem with the vaccine and such is it also shortens their life. So it's just kind of like a lose-lose. So until they can eradicate whatever is going through with whatever they catch from the sheep, whatever they catch from the wild deer, I'm not going to purposely to go through anything like that. Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I love alpacas and llamas. When I used to work at a zoo, they had alpacas and llamas, and now I really like alpacas. They're just absolutely, once you find a sweet one and they're really nice, they're just really, really great animals. So the largest animal that we will probably get next, we do want to get some Scottish Highland cows. That'll be something that we're thinking about getting, but we'll also probably get some Jerusalem donkeys. The problem with Jerusalem donkeys is they have a really long life expectancy, and so we're not quite ready for that yet. So once I get some interns and I get some figuring out what the long-term plan is, then I can get some Jerusalem donkeys and add some donkeys to the farm. But sheep will be next. Sheep is the next thing. So, and yeah, camel's milk. I've heard people say really good things about camel's milk. I don't know enough about camels to even dream of being able to get a camel or anything next. But camels are really cool. You guys can see these little baby guys hanging out inside the cage there. Or you can't because I stuck the camera over so they pop their head back out. But they really like hanging outside. These babies, they really like anything that they can burrow in. So that's why we put some boxes that we get from the different types of stores that we go to, because rabbits really like boxes. They're kind of like cats that way. Rabbits really like boxes. They like to hide in them. They like to sit on them. They like to chew them. So boxes are just something that they really enjoy. So those that might be wondering, right there is the camera that I have inside this bunny barn, or inside the bunny apartments, so you guys can watch the bunnies throughout the course of their adventures in there. So the cameras are down right now because I'm getting ready to do a major update of some stuff on my computer, since I was having lots of internet issues today. Well, like I said here, kitty, if you're ever up this way, or if we're ever near the same areas, I will be more than happy to give you that little black bunny. So got some. These guys have been having a bunny battle royale for the last couple of days. We've got that little bunny right there, and then Michael Jackson in the back. He's the back bunny. So boysenberry. I do not have any boysenberry. Trees, but that is something I will have to look to see about adding them to the farm. That actually, I've not thought about that in a while, because I have had fresh boysenberries before, and they are good, and that would be something good to add to the property. So this is the warrior bunny. His name is Michael Jackson, but he is an absolute trooper. He lets everyone know that he's in charge. These are if you guys are wondering what these are the little bunny greenhouses. These are the bunny greenhouses that Lisa built so that the bunnies can stay nice and warm and don't have the wind and such. So we just wrap the plastic around them, and it's just awesome. So when you see these guys don't mind the harsh weather. You guys see the sun has set, and I don't know if you guys can tell how it's already starting to get the black and white, and the dark is already starting to kick in. It won't be long before it gets before it actually gets dark pretty quickly. But we're gonna walk over. I was just telling you guys about the bees, so since we're walking over here, I want to show you where the future bee yard is going to be. So this is the future bee yard. We'll be doing, I'll be putting a whole bunch of bees there. We're going to be extending right here. Another thing, hey, Twisted Acre, thanks for the follow. Let me clean this off because this is their top entrance one I was telling you about. It needs to be cleaned off. Okay. So that's the hive. Still some heat coming out of that. That's the hive that is right now functioning and doing well. So just cross our fingers and hope that they do well, and then that's the extra supplies that I have for next year for being able to put some more bees and do some cool stuff with the bees. So oh, spectacular. Well, welcome. Twisted Acres, we also have a Discord channel, ! Discord, and this is to everyone else too. If anybody wants to jump on there, you guys can check it out, and we can pass, if you Twisted Acres, if you want to share some of the tips that you know about your hobby farm, that would be spectacular. So, and if you do start streaming, please let me know, so we can point people in your direction, and all of us can learn from all the different ways of people farming. So, because that's one thing that is always helpful. It's always good to get tips from people. Even if you're new to it, trust me, there's things that you're going to do that's going to be super, super helpful for everyone. So, haven't been in the snow since 1970. That's crazy. I would go crazy. I love, love, love snow. So, love it, love it, love it. I would go crazy if I wasn't in snow. That's the one thing. I mean, I will admit I get tired of it in March, especially when it becomes the slush snow. And then by April, I'm ready for snow to be over, and I'm ready to be able to just focus on being out here in my garden and being and doing fun things outside. But man, if I didn't see snow in all of those years, I would just go crazy. So, as I said earlier, the snow is going to start coming down again, as you guys see. It's thank you so much. Thank you, Sunflower, for joining us on this fun adventure. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening as well. I hope good things are always coming your way. So, let's go check on Lisa. Let's go see what let's go see what's happening with her in the barn as we're starting to get more and more snow come down. Unfortunately, there's not really any good place I can show you how much is coming down. The camera's not quite picking it up as cool as it is standing out here in it. So, yeah, Lisa, it's starting to really snow outside now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I walked out in the woods. Well, when I started, I walked out there and I was surprised.
Yeah. Did you feed the bunnies up in the bunny house yet? Did you feed?
All the bunnies are done.
Okay. Did you give them hay, or do you want me to give them hay?
If you feel like it, if not,
I can give them hay. Those guys are new to my channel know the joke that I call this show "Let's Feed the Chickens," but in reality, it's just me wandering. Yeah. Okay. What I was saying is that the big joke is we do the show Let's Feed the Chickens, and rarely is it me feeding the chickens. Most of the time it's Lisa doing most of the work and such like that. So how many chickens do I have? I probably have about 70. The bulk of the chickens are in the bantam group, which just means they're just smaller chickens. We have quite a few silkies, because silkies is what we focus the most on. We have a handful of heirloom breeds, so we have things like Old English. They're the really small ones, and they're the smaller ones. And then we also do some Americanas. They're the ones that lay the cool different color eggs. Not quite our favorites, but they're fun ones to add to the mix. A lot of Cochins. Cochins are just they're just nice mellow birds to have around. And then some of our bigger chickens are mostly just mutts, just chickens that we've got from rescued, and they've been crossbreed with lots of stuff. So they might have a little bit of Rhode Island Red, they might have a little bit of Bano, they might have a little bit of Barred Rock, a little bit of Dominique. A lot of times they're just mutts, and so we don't know much. 2 years ago, I used to sell eggs on a very, very regular basis. I used to sell chicken eggs, guinea eggs, and duck eggs. Last year, everything got really, really silly, and I just decided that it was just best to not go out and do that. I was also last year was also, for those that remember, I also was working for the census, and so I was gone a lot more than I was than I hadn't been in the past 10 years. So. I didn't get a chance to sell. We do plan on trying to get back into that this year. Once we get everything balanced and stuff like that, we do plan on doing that. You're roaring. It's funny you talk about quail, and that's one of the things that we're going to add back into the mix here, because one of the things I want to teach folks about homesteading, especially if you're going to do urban homesteading, is that quail are pretty much one of the best things that you can go to, because it doesn't matter if you have an HOA, it doesn't matter if you're in an area where you're not allowed to have that kind of stuff. Quail don't break really any of the rules, and so they're one of the ones that you can add to your mix and have fresh eggs. Now, they do take a lot. It is quite a few quail eggs, because quail eggs are absolutely, well, here we go, just to show you guys. This is a container. This is a container that would hold quail eggs. So here's my finger inside of it, so you guys can see how small quail eggs really were. So, unfortunately, our friend mailed us some quail eggs to try, and this ended up getting radiated at the post office, because they didn't know what it was, and so they sent it through the X-ray machine. And if eggs get radiated too much, you pretty much reduce their hatching to 0. Unfortunately, so. But yeah, quail. So we're gonna get quail to be able to teach some folks some more about doing that kind of stuff as well. So be excited about that. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing here, kitty. You would raise quail, and you wouldn't tell them you're raising quail, and they would never know you're raising quail. So the HOA would not be able to make a rule against it, because they wouldn't know. And they don't play. And quail don't. You don't have to worry about quail doing anything of passing. It's not like you can catch like the swine, the bird flu or anything from quail. They're just kind of a. They're just kind of just a silly little bird that you just tell them all you got to do here, kitty, is you just tell them that they're robotic. You just tell them that they're a little robotic. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with being able to suggest ducks and chickens and other things to people that live in such like that, because some HOAs know what ducks and chickens are and will have some restrictions on that kind of stuff. I've yet to hear of an HOA that has restrictions on quail. If anybody hears any, let me know. But also, if you live in the inner city, no one's going to have any issue with you having quail, because they're quiet. You can keep them in a lot of stuff. You can actually keep them in the same things that you could keep pigeons and such in. So you might be wondering what I'm doing. I'm actually giving everybody fresh hay in here. When you raise rabbits and chickens and that kind of stuff. So when you have rabbits and chickens and such like that, it's always a good idea to have fresh hay, especially for your rabbits, because it gives them something more than just their typical stuff to chew on and such like that. So, and plus, most of their diet should actually be things like hay. Because it's more natural of what they're going to eat than if they're going to be out there in the bush. So, oh, okay, that's, yeah, point taken. That's cool, T-Rex. I think we used to have bobwhite quail here, but because of hunting and such like that, we don't have any bobwhite quail here anymore. So most of the quail that I was planning on raising are going to be like a Coturnic quail or Pharaoh quail, you might see them called. They're a small quail. They don't fly very well. They're kind of dumb, but they lay eggs like Pez dispensers. Yeah, dude, I lived in the inner city, then I lived in the suburb, and there is no way I could ever live in any place that told me what I can and can't do. I mean, Twisted Acres, I don't even have zoning here. Like here in southern West Virginia, there's not even zoning. So pretty much I can build, I can do just about anything I want. I'm also on the far, far end of the county. And so even if they try to say anything about what I want to do or anything like that, no one's going to ever come up and bother me. The perk of being here in southern West Virginia is it's kind of no man's land, forgotten land. It's just kind of where people don't think about anything. So it's actually spectacular. Oh, what I'm doing, you guys can't see me, maybe just see my head. I'm just giving some of these guys down here some extra hay. I'm going through everybody and making sure everybody's got all of the hay that they need, so they've got something fun to do on these cold winter days. A little bit more, so I don't know, North Carolina has some awesome places to move to here, kitty. I would suggest if you should restart that dream at some point. Restart that dream and find some cool places. So one of my favorite places in North Carolina is near Mount Mitchell. The first time I went up to Mount Mitchell was last year, and I've been through a lot of places in North Carolina, but Mount Mitchell is absolutely crazy. So go back in there. Oh, Twisted Acres. That is spectacular. I'm glad it all worked out for you. That's great. That is definitely an awesome trick. So we got lucky here in southern West Virginia about 16 years ago. I found this plot of land here on 33 acres and an old Victorian house built in the 1890s that needed some work, and so that's how we made that all work out. And then for 10 years I ran it as a bed and breakfast, and then for the last 5 or 6 I've been running my nonprofit here, my Mavis Institute, where I teach people off-grid living, survival stuff, homesteading, in reality mostly just basic farming, because most people that come here have never done any bit of farming or planting any seeds or anything like that. So yeah, so that is so cool, man. That is absolutely spectacular. Well, as I said before, if you ever have any ideas, if you ever need to bounce ideas off of anybody, or you've got ideas that you'd like to share, I'm always around to listen. We've got some cool people in the Discord. We've got some cool people here on DLive as well. I've been doing this for a while now, and it's just if we all work together, we have questions, we all work together and help each other out, we can get some lot of cool things accomplished, and a lot of cool things we can all learn from each other. So Roaring T-Rex, thank you so much again for the diamond and for the kind words. I have been so blessed in my life that things have just seemed to always work out very well. God, source, however you guys want to refer to them as, has always been very good to me, and so I just feel like I think it's just give back, and if give back through knowledge and sharing stuff. And by the way, guys, Twisted Acres, if you ever passing down here through southern West Virginia, I'm just a few minutes off of the interstate. You are welcome to, if you're ever passing through, just to stop by. We can have some coffee, we can do some tours of the farm, we can chit chat, whatever if you're ever down this way. And again, thank you so much for the diamond as well. So I agree, it is always spectacular to find people that just that think in the same direction or just in the same wavelength as you, because it's really fun, and it's a good way, especially in these crazy times, for us to build community, even if the community is just through screens and through keyboards and such like that. And Twisted, I'm not sure if you heard this earlier, but at the end of February, I usually mail out a bunch of seeds. So if you're interested in getting some seeds and such like that, local heirloom seeds that I collect, seeds that I buy from local sources and such like that. So if you're interested, you can hit me up in the email. My email is down here in the section below. If you want to give me a call, you can go to my website, which is mavisinstitute.xyz. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and yes, my phone number is there. I don't post it on here because I like to make you guys work a little bit for it. Or you can just join the Discord and let me know, and I will be more than happy to, if you're interested in some seeds, to mail you off some. Because I think that's one of the things we need to do. If we got good quality seeds and we want to try to see if they can grow everywhere and spread it around everywhere, we can do that. And not leaving the property, man, I understand that. With the exception of having my job for the census last year, I hardly ever got to go anywhere. I hardly ever get to leave. Going and picking Lisa up on my birthday, she was down visiting her family in South Carolina, and so we decided to go. We decided to go down. On the way home, we were passing Mount Mitchell, and that's why I got to go to Mount Mitchell last year, is because it was kind of like a little birthday treat. I got up really early, left the house really early to go get her, so we'd have at least part of the day to spend together. And so we got to spend a day outside of the farm, and that is so rare. You'll find that out. I mean, most of you that get into homesteading or farming or stuff like that know that if you don't have interns or you don't have good people, good farm hands there with you, leaving your farm is not something you do very often. So before I moved here, well, actually, even the first 2 years I moved here, I used to go to the ocean once a year. I used to do regular trips to the ocean, and yeah, I don't, the last time I've been gone from this house longer than 24 hours was probably 2 or 3 years ago. Again, I'm not complaining. It's not a complaint. It's just a reality, and it's just something that's really interesting, a different life experience that you have when you get into homesteading and farming and such like that. Hence the reason you always hear me talk about interns. Once I get interns, in almost a full, that's why I want interns and all that kind of stuff. The mantra, yes. The ocean is definitely something that I've used throughout the course of my years. Now, luckily here, I do have my forest up there on top of the mountain, like, that I get to walk through, and my pine forest is just absolutely spectacular. And with the sounds of the wind and such, it does have that similar remind me of the ocean. But yes, the ocean is definitely something that I've used for many, many years to reset my mind. And not being able to go to it is sad sometimes. But when I do get to go to it, it's just pure joy. So maybe if I visited more often, it wouldn't have that same type of connection. So the pros and cons. But I get to be outside all day. I get to live on a farm. I get to raise animals. I get to go outside when it's snowing. I get to be my own boss. I get to do everything I want to do, and I wouldn't give that up for anything now. Hey, no, that's a good intern, man. It's always like I wish I could have someone that we could trade off chores and such like that. I'm working on that here at this institute. I'm working on that at the nonprofit. I'm going to build housing and be able to offer some exchange for land and skills for stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's cool, dude. It's also good community building to have folks that'll help you do in a time of need. So. Oh my God, if you guys want to see minutes that I was out there, how much darker it's got out here. So. Yeah, it's absolutely looking up the mountain, and then just the beautiful snow, and just the nice peace and quiet and calmness of everything is just absolutely great. So I'm looking over, I don't know if you guys can hear. That's funny. Yeah, we all have to be careful with our names now and what we say, and, rules, but, whatever. We're here on the farm, getting to walk around. I'm hearing some birds up there, that's why you keep hearing me kind of halfway talk through stuff. So I think, let me double check, I think most of all my chickens and such are in, which would be really good, because it's starting to get dark. A lot of them know that it's time to get dark, so. Yeah, I don't know why. It is weird. What kind of donkeys do you have, Twisted? One of the donkeys that I plan on getting in the future is I want to get a Jerusalem donkey. So that's on my list. Those are on my list of ones that I would like to get. So. Do I have any farm dogs? I don't have any dogs that their main job is here to live on the farm. So we do have a couple dogs, but they aren't actually farm dogs. They're just dog dogs. So let me ask Lisa to make sure she gave all them water in there. So Lisa, you gave water to the bunnies in the barn, right? Okay, I'll give them water. need to get a container, and we're going to get some water because Lisa said she needed to water up the rest of the bunnies in here. So I'm sorry if you guys said something and I just missed it. I think the last thing that was asked about if I had a farm dog. So I think I answered that. So let me get a little bit more water, get these guys some water, and we'll be good to go this evening. Okay. And thank you, T-Rex. I'm trying to master the chores and chatting. It is, but yes, chores and chatting, it is the best way to not get anything done. I've been doing this now for a little while though, so I've got a little bit better at doing it. And Lisa does most of the feeding of the chickens, so that does help. Though some of you have seen me do all the jobs, like days that Lisa's not feeling well. You guys know I can do all the chores by myself if I need to. See you later, Twisted. I am pretty good at multitasking. Thank you. And I think Care Kitty Kitty might have seen me do the chores one time myself. I think Mark's probably also seen me do the chores one time by myself too. But yes, no, it's a very rare occurrence because Lisa usually likes to feed everyone and she usually is really good at it, and I'm gonna, not take that away from her. So yeah, Twisted, again, thanks if you're still around. Thanks. Good luck with your chores. I hope you get them all done quickly and efficiently, and your animals are all happy and healthy and all that kind of good stuff. Well, by the way, guys, I'm going to mention this again. Maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday, because I still have to still have to figure some stuff out. So thank you so much for the diamonds. One of the things that's actually very useful for what I'm want to talk about next. I do want to do a class so I can teach people how to get into cryptocurrency, how to set up all the stuff that they need for cryptocurrency, so we can support all of our favorite channels on here, and we can bypass the demonetization and things of that sort by using the cryptocurrency, and how it'll be just as easy for you guys to pick up and buy, and just as easy to donate to all of your favorite creators. So I'm gonna be doing a class on that in the very near future. But Twisted Acres, man, thank you so much for the diamond drop. Very much appreciated. So thankful. So, but yes, we will be doing that class, and I will make sure that class, once it gets done, will go up on BitChute and go up on Library, and make it so all of us that want to be able to support those that are currently demonetized have the ability to do so. Because just as easy it is for you guys to buy diamonds, and to buy lemons and such on there. I'll teach you guys it is just as easy to buy certain cryptocurrencies and be able to give them to all of your favorite your favorite streamers and such. The only thing I'm working on right now is I don't currently know of a good way to I don't currently know how to make it so that we have alerts, but I'm working on figuring out how to do things with alerts and such like that. So why is Monero? Monero is roughly about the same price as Litecoin, and it is pretty much in the same vein as Litecoin. That's the reason why Monero. It's the kind of coin it is. It's just purely a privacy coin, so it has a lot more limited use than some of the other coins. But personally, Monero is also undervalued at the moment, so it is one of the coins that I've actually been buying and holding on to, thinking that I'm going to see an increase, especially if we start seeing more and more crackdown and more government influence, since it is pretty much a privacy coin. So that is something, that is the reason why I personally like Monero, for those that are wondering. But one of the easier coins that I can teach everybody how to quickly buy and trade and such like that will be Tron. And if you really are against Tron, then there are some really good Ethereum tokens. Or we can also talk about doing stuff with Stellar. Stellar is XLM. We can talk about that kind of stuff, but that'll be for a future show. So I can just hyper focus on step-by-step instructions for everyone, so that you guys can learn how to do that, so we can just bypass all of the silliness that's been going on, and we decentralize everything, so that we use cryptocurrency the way it's supposed to be, as a voice of freedom. And that way a lot of us can stay on all the platforms that we want, doing whatever we want, and we don't have to worry about what somebody else says about it, or if we have to follow their rules. And also, as I said before earlier in the stream, it's always good to have multiple avenues, so that if you get kicked down, or if your site goes down like they did the Parler or anything like that, you have a location to go to. You can follow all of your favorite creators from location to location, and around and such. So here, kitty, have a wonderful night. Thank you as well. So I'll be logging off here in just a few minutes too. As you guys can see, it's getting way too dark, and as it gets really too dark, it gets harder and harder for you guys to see me, and so it becomes a podcast instead of a stream. So Coinbase will need to know that's one of the downfalls. If you're in the United States and you want to buy crypto, you will actually have to put all of your legal information and your legal name down, just the same as a bank, because what a lot of those places is they are banks. But the other thing I will tell you is, as nervous as you might be, I would much rather buy from a trusted company like a Coinbase, from a Binance USA, from some of the other ones, than to do some of the ones that are kind of shady, because you don't know exactly what they're going to do. Where some of the bigger establishments like a Coinbase or something is definitely more reputable. So. But we'll talk more about that later. Those are going to be really good questions that we talk about. Really good things that to cover in the very near future. Sasha, thank you for the follow. So, you're asking about the moon. I saw the moon just a few minutes ago. Where did the moon go? I'm not sure where the moon was at. I don't see the moon at the current moment. It was right up above my head. It's a very small crescent. It's cloudy right now. Don't know where you saw it. It was probably here. So, yeah, right there's the moon. There you go. Let me spin around.
We'll be able to see it in just a second. Once the clouds so a nice crescent moon that you guys can see. So I am facing currently I am facing west. So T-Rex, it's even funnier that you mentioned Silverchair. I find that super interesting that you mentioned Silverchair, being that Silverchair was an Australian rock band, and Damatra is from Australia. So it's even really weird about that too. So Damatra mentions the moon, the crescent moon. You think about the crescent moon, which in turn makes you think about writing Silverchair. Silverchair is the name of an Australian rock band, and Damatra, the one that originally mentioned the moon, is from Australia. So just kind of crazy how all that cycle thing works. Really, really interesting to say the least. So anyways, friends, it's the Baron, Doc Justin, what I like to call me in this absolutely pitch darkness that you can't see me. You can just see my silhouette right there. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and until tomorrow, see you guys later. Adios.